Welcome to Community, the TV show. I'm Kathy Antunes, sitting in for Annette Sherman. Happy New Year, everyone. We're going to continue celebrating the assets in our community, and today we'll be talking about New College, one of the finest institutions of liberal arts education in Sarasota, but also with a state and national reputation for excellence. With me today is Dwayne Peterson, who is the director of the Career Center at New College. Dwayne, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. This is a new role for you.
It is.
Yeah, you joined New College in July?
July, yes.
Okay, well, tell us a bit about what you've done before coming to New College and why you chose to make your career here.
Well, I'm a career coach by training, so I've probably been doing career coaching for well over a decade. I specialize in working with college students and then kind of branched out and had a private practice for a while. But I really started my career at the University of North Florida professionally after I finished my master's in education. And I worked with college students in academic advising, residence life. But what I really found fascinating is working with students on their careers. Those were the conversations I found the most rewarding. And so I was doing this private practice and I decided, take your hobby and make it your job. And so I started my career in career services, college career services at the University of Florida, where I actually worked primarily with employers, helping them to navigate the college to recruit their talent and develop recruiting strategy. And then I went most recently to Georgia College and State University. It's a public liberal arts school, similar to New College, but for the state of Georgia. And I managed their career development program there, and I did that for 4 years. And we revolutionized career development on that campus. And so I was an assistant director there. It was time for me to find my next step professionally. And this excellent, wonderful opportunity came to be the director here at New College, and it was an excellent fit. I have a background in liberal arts. I was a music major right up the road at USF. And I struggled with career questions. And so I know the needs of liberal arts students very well. And it's really my kind of specialty. And so it was an excellent fit.
You're talking about something that's really close to my heart, and I was involved in residence life at Virginia. When you said that, I kind of went,
that's where I started.
When I went to college. But I was a history major, and if you're a liberal arts student, you get really tired of the question, history, what are you going to do with that? Or English, or whatever it is. But actually, liberal arts students have so much to offer. How do you help the liberal arts student transition to a career?
Well, a lot of it is helping liberal arts students identify the skill sets that employers are telling us they need and want in industry, regardless of their field. Things like critical thinking, the ability to synthesize information, teamwork, communication skills, both written and oral. And a lot of times we're trying to help young adults understand that what you choose to study is not necessarily a predeterminate pathway to one specific career path. And actually, I'd advocate that it's better to be broader. Choose an academic subject that you find the most interesting, that's likely to translate to better performance, academic success, and then you're going to be more engaged in developing these skill sets that really employers are looking for. And so then we also try to work with students to not only explore how they might apply their academic discipline to a wide range of careers and explore those careers, but we also help get them the types of experiences they need so they can try things out and gain experience before they graduate. So that would be things like internships, of course, job shadowing, mentorship is a big area for us. We want to see our New College students have strong professional mentors and to be able to get experience before they graduate so they can make an informed decision before they graduate. It can really take the full time that you're in college to work on your career. It's a kind of a long, lifelong process, really.
Yeah.
And so we're starting that work the minute they start at our campus by taking a career assessment, meeting with my team, which are a team of professional career coaches, and then kind of thinking about, okay, if I have this interest in history, let's say, how does that translate to careers that maybe aren't so obvious or maybe are obvious. Of course, you can be a history teacher, but what else can you do? And what you can find is that you can transition well into business and sales and technology and healthcare and all kinds of other avenues as well. But once students kind of get sort of the veil lifted on that, then they start to explore those options. And that's really what our office is trying to do.
Yeah, that's terrific, because I think one of the challenges is college can feel like an alternate universe, you know, kind of you're in this bubble and you have this world with your friends and your studies, and bringing yourself out to the wider world can feel challenging.
Right.
You know, you're a big fish in a little pond, let's say, and now you've got to deal with the real big pond out
Right.
there. So you start doing this from day one.
Yes.
That's really interesting. And how do you do that with the kids at New College?
What we're trying to do at New College is actually embed career development as an academic outcome for our students. What that means, well, let me kind of give you a little history. Career services used to be a peripheral activity that you took advantage of if you wanted to. It was, you have your studies, and then you have everything outside your classroom. And career development was one of the things outside the classroom. You took advantage of it if you wanted to. And what we often found is that the students who took advantage of it were the ones who probably would have been okay even without the service.
Yeah.
It was the students who are non-traditional or who are from different demographics or marginalized groups who really need the support and services but don't often take advantage of them because it's not an academic expectation. And so what we're doing at New College is a little different, is we're embedding this sort of career development or career readiness competencies into the curriculum. So to answer your question about the first year students, what we're doing is we're embedding career development outcomes into their first year seminar courses, which all of our first year students will take, which are really neat courses that take academic curriculum and sort of the transition pieces that one would need to be successful on a college campus and embeds them into one course. So you study a really cool topic with a faculty member who's an expert in that area, but then you also learn about time management and study skills. And another big component of that is career development. So all of our first year students take a career assessment that explores their interests, their personality, their values, and then links that to their interest in academic study as well as careers.
Yeah.
We also are really happy because that's our students' first access to credible career information, which is really important to us. Oftentimes students will just go to Google and they will look for career information
Dangerous
on Google.
In a way. Really?
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is not set up for college level job seekers or entry level talent. And so they get access to bad information. And we find that parents, because they have such a vested interest in their students' education, oftentimes don't know how to help students who want to pursue things that they're not familiar with, like let's say history or music in my case.
Right.
And so they need access to good career information and how to translate. So it's okay if a music major ends up becoming a career coach.
Sure.
And how does one make that transition? So that takes time for students to understand.
Yeah, because when you're involved in a liberal arts education, if you've benefited from that, and I know people who went to my college who were doing all sorts of things from sales to even film
Absolutely.
production. But the critical thinking that's required when you're doing a liberal arts curriculum, I'm impressed that you all are finding a way or committing yourselves at New College to actually tying together that broader outlook of liberal arts with career outcomes. Right. That's unusual. Is this something you've spearheaded, or are people doing this elsewhere as well?
Well, so I don't know if you know much about higher education nationally, but specifically in the state of Florida. Yeah. Public pressure because of rising student loan debt has really kind of created a need for higher education institutions to rethink how they're training students. You have to think, like, faculty backgrounds are very unique. They have PhDs in a specific discipline. They are experts in that discipline. They're not always experts in how to help students transition into the world of work, and they may not even be familiar with that.
Well, and that's kind of criticism of the Ivy League, or not Ivy League, the academic world being in the ivory tower, not in the real world.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so all institutions across the country have really had to rethink this, but particularly in the state of Florida, because we are governed by some legislation that says we get some performance-based money based on our ability to help our students get jobs that pay at a certain level that you would expect of a bachelor's level graduate. And so liberal arts colleges in particular, New College is no exception, have really struggled with this because we can talk with employers that tell us that they really need these liberal arts-based skills, but then we'll try to take their opportunities and connect them to particular academic programs. For example, I remember working with an employer who said, I really, in great detail, I need someone who's be able to synthesize large amounts of information, read, are very detailed oriented, can communicate well, and so send me a management major.
Yeah.
And I looked at that employer and said, it's really interesting. Actually, I think you need a philosophy major. And you should have seen the employer's face when I said that. It was kind of a, what do you mean I need a philosophy major?
Right? Totally outside the box. And yet, a lot of times young people coming out of college are dealing with just submitting their resumes online into these huge, I call it a black hole, right? You're just putting a resume out there and hoping that somebody is going to bite. And there are a lot of problems with that. What can you share with us? What are the pitfalls there?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my team, again, this is the importance of starting early, are helping students understand how to navigate a search, how to navigate the world of work. And hopefully throughout their 4 years, they're getting experience with internships and meeting professionals who are in industries that interest them, who are also giving them advice about how to navigate that. But in particular, as one starts to transition from college, we're really working with them to develop a search strategy. And this is key here with the language. It's not just about conducting a search, going out to a website like Indeed and trying to find work, that actually will not produce very high results. That really it's a combination of trying to be intentional about searching for specific organizations and opportunities that may or may not be on your radar. So actually it requires us to do a lot of research. It may be, I would like to start my career in communications in the state of Florida. Well, who are the organizations that have the capacity to hire for entry-level communication roles? And a student might develop a list of those organizations and start to really target them. The other big part of every strategy has to be focused on networking. Some research suggests that up to 80% of jobs that are available in the market right now today never make it online. They live on our desks and in people's minds. And if they meet the right candidate, they suddenly have a job for them. And so we do a lot of coaching with students on how to network, how to do that appropriately, how to send cold emails or prospective emails to organizations and people that they're interested in connecting with.
Okay, and one of the common complaints, I'd love to hear how New College is addressing this, is, we have such a talented pool of young people in Sarasota that come up through our high schools, and then, New College attracts great talent from all over the state. And we'd love to keep our young people here, right? We'd love to keep our talent here. But yet, are local employers connecting with New College, or how does that work? And do you see a lot of kids staying here? Are they trying to stay here?
New College students are very high achieving. We're the state's honors college. So I think it's important for viewers to consider that. What that means is that you have very high achieving students with great potential who choose to come to college at New College because of the low cost. We're a public school. So you get this sort of private education at a public cost, which is a great benefit to the student and their family. However, I don't think students often think about Sarasota as a place to start a career, and then but I think that could be easily rectified if we had more local employers engaging with New College as a source of potential place to source talent. But then also, I'm not sure employers always understand the caliber or the type of graduate or student we have at New College, and so that's sort of been my mission since I became the director, is to try to help local employers understand who is the New College student. I've been in the community a little while now, and I've talked to some local employers who say things like, "Oh, New College students are too smart for my organization," or "New College students don't you produce New College students who are in graduate programs? They think that they're at some higher level," when really in reality they're just undergraduate students like every other institution.
I'm just going to jump in because I do think that there's this really fabulous kind of eccentric graduation that gets covered every year. It is an outside the box, expressive, almost artsy type of ceremony. And so there may be this perception that it's I don't know, that you all actually have a broad array of academic disciplines, and a lot of science. That was something I learned in our preliminary discussion. I don't think a lot of people realize that.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, 1/3 of our students are exploring science, and so that's very broad. That could be things like, of course, biology, chemistry, physics, marine. We have an exceptional marine biology program. Math, we have exceptional math programs. We have a specific applied math program, mathematics, statistics. We also have an incredible economics program that also has a focus in finance, and so so our students are really pursuing STEM. Also, because of the way that New College's curriculum works, which is very different than a traditional academic model, students get exposure to a wide range of disciplines that are a little more practical, I guess you can say. So you might end up having an English student, for example, who's taken a couple of computer programming courses because the flexibility of the curriculum allows them to do that. And so you end up with this graduate who just has a wealth and a depth of different types of information and skill sets that they can provide to employers. We want to showcase our science talent, that we're actually doing an event to try to attract employers, and we love local employers if they have recruiting needs in the sciences, math, technology, finance areas to come to campus this spring and recruit for our science students.
Sure, yeah. And so when it comes to flexibility, because you have 35 academic programs, but I know one of the very different things about New College is there is this opportunity to create your own curriculum.
Yes.
And, I might think, well, what is that like? Because it is so different. How does that work with your students, and what kind of curriculums get created?
I would say most students try to stick with the 35 we have. We encourage students to do that, but they can put them together into unique combinations. So even the language we use at New College is a little bit different. For example, we don't use the term major. We don't use the term minor. We use the term area of concentration. What that means is that it's super broad, and there's a lot of different possibilities that students can put different types of subjects together to tell a story or explore their different interests. It's exciting because I think our students are being trained to have a lot of agency in their academic studies. So I know when I was a student, my advisor said, take these classes and you checked boxes and that's how you graduated. But New College students are not like that. Of course, there are some standards of different types of courses they have to meet depending on what they want to study, but they can be really flexible in terms of how they put those things together. So for example, I'm working with a student who's really interested in educational policy. We don't have an education program at New College, but she's combining psychology, sociology. She's even trying to get some additional courses sort of beyond our curriculum in like disability studies to put together this exceptional foundation to look at educational policy from all these different angles. That's the kind of student that does well at New College, that we attract at New College, who can really think about, okay, I want to look at this from a lot of different ways, and the curriculum supports that. I would also add there's a small number of students that will try to create their own major beyond our academic offerings, and our faculty provide exceptional advising on how they can do that. It might be that they do a national student exchange program where they take some courses at another school outside the state, or they take courses at another school, and then maybe they do some self-study, some self-tutorials as well to help put that program together. So that takes a lot more student agency.
That does, and what I'm hearing and what you're describing is this emphasis on kind of being a self-starter, problem solving, critical thinking. All of these are aspects that any employer needs, little spark plugs in the organization that are really going to get out there and get things done. Do you have feedback from employers as to their satisfaction level and how your graduates are doing once they're hitting the job market and in their careers?
Absolutely. We collect a lot of feedback from interns. We have a number of New College students who do internships locally. Again, unlike most schools, we don't have a summer term, so our students are out doing all kinds of things in the summer. But in the fall and the spring, they are really focused on internships here in the local community, and we've gotten a lot of positive accolades about our students' abilities and how they work with different organizations to help solve their problems. Our new motto is about this idea of fearless thinkers, and that really does describe the new college student very well. They're not afraid to ask tough questions. They are very ambitious. They want to get involved. And when they do, employers seem to really be responding very positively to that. What I think we'd like to see, though, are more employers considering new college graduates for entry-level roles. And so part of it is there hasn't been enough recruiting programming in place to help employers easily connect with students. But now we have a new technical platform called Handshake, which is a national system that allows our students to connect with employers from all over the country who really intentionally want to connect with them online through the Handshake platform.
Okay.
And then we also now are doing more recruiting events as well to try to bring more employers to meet our students.
The local recruiting events for this community, or just because, like you say, they're ambitious, your students want to, be recruited from all over the country.
Right.
But again, to keep that talent here, like as part of your new role, are you doing more local?
We definitely want to emphasize that. So we're working closely with economic development here in Sarasota to try to make sure they're aware of the talent at New College as we're trying to recruit new companies to come to Sarasota.
Yeah.
But also the current companies that are here, we're trying to be very visible and build relationships with them so that they do think about New College graduates. So yes, to your question, we definitely want local employers to come to New College because it's right in their back door and recruit our students, but we are certainly open to other types of employers from all over the state and nationally to come and recruit as well.
Yeah. So one of the tools I learned about in college that, and I actually took a class, and that it was sort of at the forefront. It wasn't something typically done. It was on career development. Was the informational interview,
Yes.
and you spoke about that with me when we were preparing. But I don't think a lot of people know about this, and certainly any young people watching. Can you share how you train your students to conduct informational interviews?
They're such wonderful tools.
Yeah.
So this is essentially just a simple conversation with somebody who has a job that you just think is kind of cool and you want to learn about it. So we will work with students to prepare them to find those individuals if they're not already in their networks, because sometimes it might be, I have a particular career interest and I think there are people who probably have that job, and we want to connect them to those individuals. It could be, trying to do some research to figure out who those people are. We, of course, leverage our alumni network as well. Our alumni are doing amazing things, and sometimes they can serve as that resource. We then help coach students on how to do that outreach so that it's a professional outreach, so they give the best professional impression. And then we help them develop questions to ask. And we're really intentional with students to make sure they're open-ended questions. I always say the good, bad, and ugly of someone's job. So what do you love about your job? What do you hate about your job? What would you change about your job? What advice would you have for me if I wanted to pursue work in your area?
And you know what's great about those interviews is there's no pressure.
No.
You're not interviewing for a job,
That's
although
right.
it could lead that way ultimately, but you're getting comfortable in having a discussion about careers and having a professional discussion and professional outreach, but there's no pressure.
That's
really.
absolutely right. That's
Yeah.
absolutely right. And we try to really make sure our students understand that they take that piece seriously, that they're not asking these contacts for jobs or employment opportunities, but they're really just trying to collect information that can assist with their learning and decision making. Again, what I have found is that college students have very limited understanding of even the jobs that are out there. And careers move so fast and they're so complicated, and new jobs are being created. And so it's hard for one, especially a liberal arts student, to think about what careers are even out there. What are they?
Right.
When I tell my
conversations are really important. I'm just jumping in because we do want to give you the opportunity to share your phone and contact information with
absolutely.
people. So if they want to get in touch with you and learn more about, recruiting at New College or helping your students with their career plans, how do they get in touch?
Absolutely. The best way is just to contact our office. Our office is actually called the Center for Career Engagement and Opportunity, or the CEO. It's a fancy name for the Career Center. But our website is ncf.edu/CEO.
Okay.
And they can certainly call us, they can email us. I have a great website.
And the phone number?
The phone number, 941, no, excuse me, yes, 941-487-5002 is our
Okay.
phone number, and it's again right on our website.
Okay,
I'm the
great.
direct point of contact for recruiting for employers who want to source talent from New College, so they can feel free to email me directly, and my email's on our website as well. And I'm happy to help provide consultation and support as they're looking to recruit, and whether that could be part-time jobs, internships, full-time jobs. Even we would love if, a lot of your viewers may not be actually hiring, but would love to connect with a high-achieving New College student. And so we have opportunities for mentorship and lots of other ways that they can be involved to help prepare and work with our students.
Yeah, so many times you might have an applicant that ticks off all the boxes, but yet a lot of times the best fit for a job is that person who is committed, passionate, perseverant, and is going to take the initiative and get things done.
Absolutely.
It sounds to me like that's really those are the kind of qualities you all are mentoring and helping to cultivate in your student body. So it's a fabulous thing.
Absolutely.
I'm glad to hear it. As a history major who went into a sales career and communications, it's a great thing to see that you're doing that with intention. Are there any final plugs for New College or any events coming up maybe that you want people to know about?
Yes, absolutely. I mentioned this earlier about our science networking event. It's called the Science, Math, and Technology Networking Day. It'll be on the 27th of February on the New College campus, and information is available on our website. But if there are employers in the area or anywhere in the state who are interested in recruiting our incredible science talent, and that includes things like science, math, as well as finance and econ, please sign up for that event. That event's just $35 to come, and they get to spend the morning, afternoon connecting with students, and they can even do interviews after the event. We're also doing an event with CCA, the Cross College Alliance schools. So that's USF Sarasota Manatee and State College of Florida, called the Reverse Career Fair, which is a really exciting event where students will stand at tables rather than employers and be able to connect with employers who go through as guests. So that's on the 26th of March.
Okay. Well, Dwayne Peterson, it's fabulous to have you in this role at New College. I want to thank you for being here. It's been an amazing thing to live here for 20 years and watch how our educational environment has flourished. So thank you so much for all you're doing.
Thank you for having me.
And we appreciate you being here. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for watching the Community TV show.
The time really flew. We bid you adieu from Community. If you want to know why we love it here, so check out Community. Well, it's a who's who, a what's, when, and where show. It's a mover and shakers who care show.